Cable Bahamas has always been considered the innovator.
People can have confidence in Cable Bahamas as a mobile operator because of our past history. We've proven to the Bahamian community that we are in fact able to manage additional services as a telecommunications company.
Customers expect the best from Cable Bahamas.
The technology that we bring is revolutionary technology because we know that the Bahamian public, they deserve it, and Cable Bahamas is here to bring it to them.
We are ready. Turn us on.
Just how much will the first phase of national health insurance implementation cost? Urban Renewal officials detail how that new $20 million government allocation will be spent. The state finance minister defends government's decision to ban old vehicles. Plus, the Prime Minister on hand to open a new facility for disabled adults. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NV12 starts right now. Tonight, Minister of State for Finance Michael Halkitis has revealed the first phase of national health insurance will cost government $60 million. He also revealed while government plans to meet its implementation date of January 1st, 2016, a key component of the first phase is improving the public healthcare system. Vonnie Toot tells us more.
Though government consultant Sanagest International estimated NHI would cost between $362 million on the low end and $633 million on the high end annually, the figure provided by Minister of State for Finance Michael Halkitis is much lower. As reflected in the 2015-2016 budget allocation for the Ministry of Health, Halkitis says the first phase of the scheme will actually cost $60 million.
Without the addition of any tax for the purpose, we have increased the allocation to the Ministry of Health by $60 million in preparation for the implementation of national health insurance.
$274 million was allocated to the Ministry of Health in the 2015-2016 budget. That's up from $214 million. Though government intends to roll out national health insurance in January 2016, a government official told NB12 the first year of NHI will fall below the expectations of many Bahamians. The source, who did not want to be named, said government intends to improve current healthcare services offered at Princess Margaret Hospital and other government clinics. Government also intends to extend the hours at the clinics and begin to offer more services at those facilities. Renovations are also expected to take place at PMH. Halkitis touched on plans to improve the public healthcare system but did not go into detail.
There are many reasons that went into why we seek to do it this way. We want to bring some immediate relief, and that begins with ensuring that we put in place improvements to the public health system as it is. We have allocated for that in this budget, and so we'll have $60 million for immediate improvement to the public health system.
Prime Minister Perry Christie said on Wednesday government will phase in the initial national health insurance services for all Bahamians over the next 5 years, commencing on January 1st, 2016. But the full journey to full national health insurance will take longer. Government does not intend to impose additional taxes or contributions to fund NHI at this time. Halkitis defended government's decision to take a phased approach.
If we are able to do this on a phased basis, this will be the best outcome. As he said, we are in the midst of a reform. We've introduced the VAT, and as he committed to do earlier this year, we are adjusting other tax rates. We think that it is in the best interest of the country to do it in this staged way.
When asked how government would implement the scheme in the first year, Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez said he would give those details during his contribution to the budget debate next month. Reporting for NB12, I'm Vonnie Toot.
The $20 million allocated in this year's budget for Urban Renewal will go towards creating jobs for new high school graduates of the program and fund other urban renewal projects. That's according to co-chair Cynthia Mother Pratt. She and co-chair Algernon Allen told NB12 today the funds being pumped into the program are to be spread out over numerous urban renewal initiatives. But with the program still the subject of controversy following an Auditor General's report highlighting a lack of accountability and transparency, who will be responsible for managing the funds? Kyle Joaquin reports.
Urban Renewal has seen its fair share of controversy over the past few weeks. But after the Prime Minister's announcement that $20 million of the country's budget will be allocated for the program, the questions are now being asked exactly how that money will be spent and who will manage it. As the Prime Minister talked about building a safer Bahamas during his budget communication in the House of Assembly Wednesday, he announced the allocation of an extra $20 million for urban renewal in the government's fight to address the root cause of crime. However, this announcement comes just a few weeks after the program made headlines as the Auditor General's report raised several issues surrounding the handling of public funds in the program. That report found there is a lack of accountability, transparency, and due diligence in the execution of the program and quality of work done in the small homes repair program. He also found that contractors were not required to bid for work, nor were they required to have insurance. According to his report, $171,000 was paid to 11 contractors for work that was either not done or never completed. However, the report never pointed specifically to the work of any of the co-chairs. So with that scandal still looming, the question was raised, who would manage this $20 million injection?
Those funds will be managed through the Ministry of Finance, it is my understanding. And it's not solely for the direct input into the commission and its purpose, but it's to touch other aspects of the broader philosophy of urban renewal, which has also to do with the renewal of neighborhoods, renewal of the human spirit, renewal of young people in need and distress, help to the elderly. And so it is very broad-based. We do not think it will be concentrated, but we know that we will have a very direct input into the disbursement of it.
In the aftermath of the Auditor General report leak, both co-chairs Cynthia Mother Pratt and Algernon Allen lashed out at critics, with Pratt saying she wasn't a young thief and she sure won't be an old one. The ordeal has since caused much controversy in the House of Assembly. There was a recent uproar on Tuesday when Public Accounts Committee Chairman Hubert Chipman rejected House Speaker Dr. Kendall Major's recent ruling on the committee's investigation into urban renewal. Major condemned his comments as inappropriate, contemptible, and disrespectful. But according to Urban Renewal co-chair Cynthia Mother Pratt, the money will go a very long way, particularly in creating employment opportunities for current members of the Urban Renewal Band on their way out of high school.
Some of them are graduating, and so you would want to be able to employ some of these young people to assist with the band, so that some of the youngsters who are coming up now can see there's hope for them should they remain involved. And so these funds will help to provide employment for the seniors who are now graduating.
Her comments came as she attended Urban Renewal Commission's Love Your Country campaign in Sunlight Village. The event was one organizers used to bring the Centerville community together. Head of Centerville's Urban Renewal Assistant Superintendent Ricardo Richardson says over the past 2 years, Urban Renewal has become a big member of that community.
We hear a whole lot of things happens within the community, but we only hear the bad things. But we hear that they just let the Bahamas know, let the community know that there's a whole lot of wonderful things that happens within the community which we need to pay more attention to.
Pratt said Urban Renewal has also recently received millions of dollars in books from Broward County in Florida. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Halkitis also today defending government's decision to ban the import of wrecked vehicles and those that are older than 10 years. The purchasing of wrecked or salvaged vehicles online has become an industry of its own in the Bahamas. For years, Japan has been the place for car purchases, most of which are either wrecked or over 10 years of age. Some cars going for as low as $80. But with the Prime Minister's announcement that government is now placing a ban on the import of both types, questions have been raised as to why that decision was made. According to Halkitis, the Bahamas is one of the only countries in the world that allows the importation of wrecked and 10-year-old vehicles, and the government doesn't want the archipelago to be known for importing old wrecks.
Basically on environmental grounds. You have you don't want your country to be one of the only ones in the world that allows vehicles over 10 years to be imported into your country. They don't last as long. There are air quality standards concern, environmental concern.
Halkitis says studies have shown cars older than 10 years of age only lasts a certain period of time until they begin to litter the environment. But what about those who can't afford a brand new car off the lot or to order a new one online?
When we implemented the VAT, we changed the way that customs duty is calculated on when anything being brought into the country. Duty is no longer calculated on freight and insurance, and so we think that when you take that into account and you compare an 11-year-old car versus an 8 or 7 or even a 6-year-old car, you'll see that the cost is comparable.
Critics have already questioned if government's decision was for the benefit of car dealerships who took a hit as a result of the implementation of value-added tax. Halkitis told NB12 today the decision was made based on environmental reasons and not the benefit of any specific group of people.
Before we implemented or presented the policy, we get advice from customs, from the police, from the insurance industry, the road traffic department. Unanimously, wrecked vehicles should be banned. There's always concerns about, these wrecked vehicles, whether vehicles have been rebuilt, the safety in case there's an accident, how safe the occupants would be. We're moving to put ourselves on par with other countries in the region and around the world who don't allow these types of vehicles to be imported.
The state minister said the changes aren't designed to benefit a particular group of people, and as for antique cars, he said there will be a regime put in place for them. In other news, the Bahamas has signed a memorandum of understanding with China for an air service agreement between the two countries. The agreement provides a legal framework to facilitate air traffic services between the Bahamas and China. Minister of Transport and Aviation Glenys Hannah Martin says 140 million Chinese citizens are expected to travel outside that country as tourists, and this is a major opportunity for the Bahamas' tourism industry.
This is a significant day in the history of our lives and in the history of our country, and we believe that this will garner towards stronger relations between the two countries, air traffic ultimately, and an impact on our economy. China has the largest population in the world and one of the largest economies in the world. And so that puts into perspective the significance of what is happening today.
China's civil aviation administrator said now is the right time to establish air traffic services between the countries, adding he looks forward to growing Chinese investments in the Bahamas.
The signing of the MOU will further expand the investments from China to the Bahamas, and it will also help increase the relations in terms of tourism exchanges and people-to-people exchanges.
Prime Minister Perry Christie said the signing is the result of his visit to China in January. He called it timely, considering China has already established similar links with Cuba.
When we were in China, we found that an announcement was made that there would be direct flights between China and Cuba. And so we knew, and we have now heard, that there will be increased flights to the United States of America and the direct flight to China, to Cuba. And therefore it follows that the Bahamas is now making application for direct flights to the Bahamas.